Hello and welcome to the Webcast for Monday, June 29th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. As a deep trough remains in place over the west, the marine layer remains very deep this morning, although the cloud pattern is still locally disrupted in some areas since cold air aloft is weakening the marine inversion. Nonetheless, areas of slow and incomplete clearing are likely once again today, while mostly sunny skies persist over the interior. Breezy conditions continue across portions of the interior and some coastal areas this morning, but winds are continuing to weaken overall. Here's a look at the latest wind observations with the wind gust values shown in red. Even the windier areas are seeing southwest to northwest winds gusting only mostly 30 miles per hour or less. Still, the breezy onshore flow pattern will persist for several more days. The main weather story this week remains the cool temperatures. Here's a look at the forecast highs for today. Most areas will see a couple degrees of warming relative to yesterday, but remain well below normal for this time of year, with 70s and low 80s common in the Southern California valleys, and the San Joaquin Valley struggling just to reach 90. A number of climate sites yesterday set record low maximum temperatures for the date. We remain in this highly unusual deep western U.S. troughing pattern that is more typical of winter than early summer. As time goes on, we will see the trough gradually weaken, but only very slowly. By late this week and into the 4th of July holiday, weak high pressure may attempt to establish itself somewhere over the western or southwestern U.S., but it remains to be seen how quickly that process may occur, and it looks like it will still be fighting against continued Pacific troughing influences. What we call a shortwave trough will rotate through the broader troughing pattern today, generating some extra lift and instability. Because of that, it now looks like there will be a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity across the central and eastern Sierra this afternoon and evening. Lightning is not expected to be a significant concern due to the cool temperatures. While the pattern remains cool and in some cases cloudy, we do still have a dry, larger-scale air mass in place since this troughing pattern is more of the inside slider variety. So while high humidities associated with the marine layer will extend much further inland than usual, we will still have minimum humidities of 12 to 25% across the far interior, with single digits in many of the deserts. Only very slow moderation in temperatures is expected through most of this week. Here's a look at the forecast highs by Wednesday, still far below where we should be this time of year. A deep marine layer will remain prevalent, with night and morning low clouds expanding onto the coastal slopes. Clearing is likely to remain slow, patchy, and in some cases non-existent for the next several days. However, we will continue to see those drier conditions with lower RHs across the far interior. It will remain a breezy week as well. While winds have let up some this morning, southwest to northwest winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts up to 50 miles per hour will remain common across the interior mountain ridges and desert passes for most of this week. The gradients should gradually start to weaken later this week, but a steady onshore flow pattern will persist. By late this week and into the July 4th holiday, a slow but steady warming trend appears poised to continue. Valley highs should recover into the mid-80s to low 90s by the time we get to the 4th, which is at least getting us closer to normal, but there is no potential for any extreme heat through the holiday. And even beyond then, while more seasonable temperatures appear likely, the potential for any extreme heat appears limited. Dry weather is also favored to continue, as the frequent troughing influences will prevent the development of any traditional monsoonal pattern. The cool weather and deep marine layer will keep our dead fuel moistures above normal and ERCs well below normal this week. Even live fuel moistures, which have been running below normal, may trend back towards more seasonable values in the next couple of weeks, as their seasonal moisture declines are slowed by this unusually persistent cool pattern. The cool pattern and reduced fire danger indices will keep our area-wide large fire probability all the way down into the low category today and for the next several days, well below where we should be this time of year. Only light initial attack is expected. There will remain some conditional fire spread potential across the interior areas and especially the deserts due to the breezy and dry conditions there, but concerns should largely be confined to light fuels and single burn periods on well-aligned starts. The potential for any major multi-burn period fires, and particularly anything involving heavier fuels, is going to be well below where it would normally be over the next several days. By the upcoming holiday weekend, fire potential will trend up at least a little bit due to the warming trend, with increased IA likely due to the holiday. However, the lack of extreme heat and the preceding cool pattern will still work to limit overall potential. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Tuesday, June 30th.